What's up? It's Tom. Thanks for being here. Let's talk a bit about this guy, Mikey Gasper, because he's essentially really the only highlight to share from this Twins game this afternoon. In case you missed it, Mikey Gasper, who came over from Boston in a trade this winter, got his first MLB hit. He did make his debut with the Red Sox last year, but he had 20-some plate appearances. Did not get a hit in that sample with Boston, so this is his first start with the Minnesota Twins. His first hit with the Minnesota Twins. So that's a cool moment for Mikey Gasper. Very happy for him. Sad for most everything else. So let's hash through that. We'll lead with the good stuff, but now let's play a little new feature. New feature on the channel here. Good news, bad news. So good news. What do we got? Joe Ryan. Should call out. To be fair to him, that's a highlight. He did pitch well. He pitched well in his first start since August 7th. Had to get shut down early last year. He goes 5 innings, gives up 1 run, 5 strikeouts, no walks, no home runs, which that's usually a really key factor of success for Joe Ryan, is if he can keep the ball in the ballpark. He had 81 pitches. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. So a shorter start, and they're going to be kind of conservative with these guys early on. And the bad news is that Jorge Alcala essentially rendered that start moot right in the 6th inning. Joe goes 5. Alcala, comes in, and it's rough. Let's take a look. First batter he faces, he's up 0-2 on Nolan Arenado and gets a bullet hit right back at him. This hits him in his shoulder, and Carlos Correa says, "Oh, I know how to make things worse," and he gets to second base there. Trainer comes out. He does stay in the game, but this looked pretty painful. A 99-mile-per-hour pitch. I didn't look up the exit velo, but it was tattooed back at him. Hits him right in the shoulder, pitching shoulder there. Ouch. And you see Alcala even winced. A 4-pitch walk to the next batter he faces. Nodding, I think he's trying to send to the dugout that he's feeling okay, and then a single up the middle, and that was it. Faces 3 guys, all 3 reach. Arenado scores. All 3 would eventually score because Louis Varland came in, and Louis really threw the ball well. He looked really good, but tough situation to come into, nobody out, 2 men on. Those guys did end up scoring, so... it was a shame. That was a gut punch. Moving on. We're still good news, bad news. And sometimes we start with the bad news. Matt Wallner, Carlos Correa, and Byron Buxton are a combined 0 for 24. That is the bad news. The good news is there's really very little reason to be concerned about that trio. All 3 of them, were very successful last year. Correa and Buxton in particular have track records of being successful. If there's any guys that I'm worried about succeeding eventually in the lineup, it's not that trio. It's unfortunate they've gotten off to such a bad start together, but these guys are gonna get their hits in. I'm not worried about that 3. So yeah, stinks to come out the gate like that, but I have very little concern over those guys. Next one, we've got good news. Twins only struck out 3 times in this whole game. Only 3 strikeouts, and they do that in an inning. Quite often. So, to be fair, they did cut their strikeout rate pretty dramatically from 2023 to 2024. So, they have been moving the right direction here in terms of strikeouts, and only 3 strikeouts today. But, some people yell, just put it in play. And that is usually you're going to make some of your own luck when you're putting the ball in play a lot. But today, despite only striking out 3 times, they only got 3 hits. So, that didn't really benefit them today. There was some good contact, too, that turned it out. It's bad news. Again, leading with the bad news, John Duran struggled. He only retired 1 of the 4 batters he faced, but the good news is it didn't matter in this game. The Twins were losing this game either way. He could have given up a grand slam, and it didn't matter to the results. They couldn't get anything going on offense, so it didn't matter in this game. We've seen Duran be much worse in non-save situations. That's not like a positive thing. You'd rather see him just be consistently pitching well, but got 4 whiffs, 4 swinging strikes. His velo was pretty close to last year, so doesn't ever feel good to see anybody not perform. But I'm not, I don't think it's been 2 games. There's some things we can react to for sure, and they all count the same in the standings in the end, but I'm not about to burn anything down after 2 games. We'll just put it that way. Bad news. This has been a poor first impression from the Minnesota Twins here in 2025, but maybe the good news is the farewell of fans will just fade away sooner. Stop. Don't click off the video. I'm laughing. I'm joking. We're having fun here. Okay. Just chill. You can fan how you want. I'll fan how I want, but you can fan how you want. It's okay. A lot of people are pretty distressed over this start, and I'm not hiding from the fact that this has looked bad. I'm not gonna shy away from that. The Twins have looked bad in these 2 games. Luckily, it is just 2 games. I like to look at things in terms of series, and coming in to a road series, usually, you feel like if you take 1 out of 3, that's enough. You don't necessarily feel like, you did anything triumphant, but that's enough. So if the Twins can come out, if they get swept, you come talk to me tomorrow. But if they can come out and steal a win tomorrow, then it's like, well, that's kind of what I was hoping for anyway here. So we'll see. And then, of course, long season ahead. So good news, there are 160 games left. There are 160 more of these games. Bad news, there are 160 more games, question mark. Is that good news or is that bad news? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out over the course of the season. Something I talked about a lot during their poor opening stretch of last year was like, hey, maybe this team's not going to be good. I don't think so. I think they're going to turn around, but maybe they're not going to be good. But I'm not going to, after a couple weeks, just like assume that everything is going to be terrible. I'll react to things as they unfold. I will mourn the team when it's time to do that. And of course, if I was feeling that after the first 20 or whatever games of last year, then I'm personally not going to be making any big reactions after 2 games this year. Certainly would like to see them play better, that's for sure. So, to the numbers in this game, again, Joe Ryan, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts, no home runs, and again, 81 pitches. The Twins only had 3 hits there. They are. Willie Castro had an RBI double. Trevor Larnach got a hit and stole a base and scored a run. On the minor league side, unfortunately, no game today. I was trying to attend the Saints game, and it was right up until about scheduled first pitch. We thought it was going to happen, and then it was announced that it wasn't going to. So, unfortunately, the Saints did not play today. I was looking forward to seeing my boy Andrew Morris. Not going to be able to go tomorrow, so no minor league baseball. Also, didn't get the sweet jacket giveaway, but that's okay. I was expecting that to not be the case. I wasn't counting on it. Anyway, so Twins lose 5-1. They are 0-2. Nobody else played. The Saints game will be made up at a later series, so they won't be playing a doubleheader tomorrow. Just 1 game on their schedule tomorrow, so should have another Twins and Saints game to talk about tomorrow. Fingers crossed. It's going to be bad weather here, so I don't know how likely it is the Saints play at all tomorrow. Probably not super likely. Haven't checked the forecast for St. Louis, but like I said yesterday, it's tough out here in spring, late March, early April, a lot of weather. So either way, unless both games get canceled, which I suppose is possible, we'll be back here tomorrow talking baseball once again, whether you like it or not.